Hey everybody, Meteorologist Alex Williams here with you in our Zoom center. And yes, we are talking and looking forward to the weekend and looking at the potential for some wintry precipitation. Now, trends continue to go downward on this, but we can't completely shut the door on this weather impact alert day. So we are going to keep it in force as we go towards our Sunday. Now, we will see two chances for wintry precipitation. One tonight into tomorrow morning, really mainly for the foothills, and then we'll see basically into Sunday, kind of Sunday morning into the afternoon for the Triad. More so than the foothills because it's more of a coastal system, as you'll see. So we'll get into all those details and more here in the next 10 to 12 minutes or so, and just kind of giving you a breakdown. So first off, we have, of course, our weather impact alert day for our Sunday. That is going to run for the morning through the afternoon. Light snow, maybe a little bit of a mix possible depending on how much warm air. It could be just rain snow mix and not so much sleet, as kind of looking at the thermal profile of the atmosphere, right? It tends to favor more snow or maybe even just cold rain than sleet. A lot of warm air dealing with that, and just not a whole lot of cold air at the surface. And so, of course, you want to keep attention to what's going on, right, with the forecast. Well, one place that they are enjoying, at least being in the mountains, right, versus being here, is into our ski resorts. Beach Mountain looking pretty busy this afternoon. Lots of skiers and snowboarders enjoying the slopes. And, of course, we are approaching Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. And that MLK weekend, typically, I guess, a big weekend for ski resorts across the areas, because I think we're dwindling close to the end of the ski season. Maybe they continue to keep it going as long as they can, of course. And I know skiers and snowboarders will continue to show up as well. So lots of fun going on the mountain this afternoon. Here at home, lots of sunshine. Deceptively chilly, not as chilly as it was yesterday, still blustery out there as well. So that's kind of what we're dealing with in the near term. Is we've got high pressure kind of over us at the moment. A few clouds passing at times possible as we watch the next system approach the area. So what is the weather impact? Well, the weather impact, again, is that brief rain-snow mix as we go into Saturday morning for the foothills. And then the attention shifts more towards Triad and areas to the east of the Carolinas as we head into our Sunday, with rain-snow mix possible, a lot of areas staying dry. There's lots of dry air to overcome. And so accumulation, if we see any, will be very, very light, mostly traced to maybe as much as an inch, I think closer to half an inch for some. And again, that's probably going to be a mix of maybe some rain, maybe some sleet, maybe some snow in there as well. So not a whole lot of wintry precipitation from this event. Temperatures already into the 40s this afternoon. So again, it's chilly out there. It's not unbearable. Temperatures this morning are definitely very chilly as well, into the teens. So we will see those temperatures kind of fall off a little bit tonight ahead of the next system, and we are seeing a few clouds there as well. So there's our hour by hour. Again, it's going to be kind of breezy, chilly afternoon. You can see those temperatures falling to those mid-30s by the time we get towards the late evening into the early morning hours tomorrow. Let's talk about our setup, right? So I'm going to pop myself off here. So here we are into our Saturday. This is Saturday morning, very early, so we have a system with a cold front, tending cold front, swinging through very quickly, and so that's going to kind of clip us with some of that precipitation. So you can see here, for the Triad, temperatures in the mid-30s, that's in the morning, but we're going to be warming up as the system moves through, so that tends to push more towards a cold rain event for the Triad versus the wintry precipitation that some of the foothills may see, just because they are a few degrees cooler. I'll show you this in greater detail here in just a bit, but there's futurecasts. We go into kind of our Saturday evening look at the temperatures. They're near 50, and then that system swings out very quickly. High is to our east, not to our north. We'd rather see it anchored to the north because that would continue to push in and reinforce the colder air at the surface. Instead, the warmer air that's going to erode it. Southwest winds kind of coming through the day tomorrow kind of erode some of our cold air, and that is going to cause the issue for our Sunday. As the next system comes through, look at all of the rain here to the coast. Cold air is going to be playing catch-up, and typically when it plays catch-up, you don't typically see a lot of snow from the event. You can see some of it there across the coastal areas, though, of South Carolina into Georgia. So keep that in mind if you're maybe traveling that way. Then high pressure builds in as we go past that time frame. So that's kind of the setup. Again, we'd rather see the high to the north and not so much to the east. And so that's going to kind of limit things. I do want to show you the lows, though. So the lows this morning were quite cold, into the teens. We have an Arctic air mass in charge right now. And so those are characteristically very dry and very cold. And very cold air doesn't hold a lot of moisture, so that's why they're very dry. And that's the problem, is we're going to see limited moisture with this as it is. Now it's entering into an environment that's dry, so anything that does fall kind of gets eaten away before it reaches the ground. If it's snowflakes, it'll sublimate. And then if it's rain, of course, it'll evaporate. But very, very dry air in place. The cold air is in place, but it's not locked in place. We need it locked in place if we're going to be seeing the chances for snow. And we need to see better moisture with the system. We're just not seeing it. Where's our system right now? Well, it is currently, at least the first system, is back off across western Tennessee into the Ozarks. You can see some of that snow now, of course, changing over to rain as we start to warm up some of the temperatures with some maybe peaks of sunshine in there, helping to warm some of the temperatures, but also just kind of daily heating. And so we're watching that approach western Tennessee. Not a whole lot of impacts for them as we go through the next 24 hours. But for us, again, could see maybe a little bit of some impacts. This is the winter storm risk. Well, this is the winter storm severity index is what we call it. And it tells you kind of impacts that you can expect based on the wintry weather. So if we look at this is Friday. It's going to be Friday morning through Saturday morning. So this is going to encompass the system that we'll see for the foothills. And you can see here, just not a whole lot of issues for really even our foothills. Not going to be seeing. So the level one would just be maybe some wintry roads. Winter precipitation could be possible on those roads, so keep it slow is kind of what it means. And then you start going into 2 and 3. And so you can see as you get higher up in elevation, you expect a little more snow. Maybe you start to see a little more impacts. Now, if we push that forward and we go Saturday morning into Sunday morning, now you see here even across the Triad down into other parts of the Piedmont seeing that 1. So maybe some wintry precipitation on roadways. I-40 might see a little snow, especially if you're traveling from the Triad to the Triangle areas eastward along I-40, I-85. Maybe seeing some of that as well. But again, not significant impacts with this system. It'll be a minimal impact system. And just to give you an idea, if you're looking at probabilistic amounts here, so we're talking the probabilities of seeing 1 inch of snow. Really nil almost for us here in the Triad. We're seeing 1% chance. You're saying there's a chance, yes, but it's very, very minimal at seeing 1 inch. So this, Weather Prediction Center is kind of saying, it doesn't look very impressive for the Triad. Now, we'll continue to watch the trends. These could go up if we see the storm track more towards the north and west, which is possible. Does it go up greatly? Do we see a bunch of snow? Probably not. I think this is trending more towards the lower end of things. So those are the snow probabilities for you. And then just to kind of bring it all home with the precip types, a lot of dry air, limited amount of locked-in cold air, and it won't be getting refreshed. It's kind of be getting eroded instead. And so what we have left is what we'll deal with, and very, very cold upstairs in the atmosphere, right? But just a lot of warm air kind of intruding at places, or also just not a lot of cold air at the surface for us. And so that could create some of those issues. So yeah, it could be too dry. Expect limited amounts with this. Don't go home expecting a whole bunch. And so if we time this out for you, there's our future cast into our Saturday. You can see where the colder air is setting itself up as we look at Saturday morning. So this is tomorrow morning. So if you do live in the foothills, say Wilkes County, up into, say, Allegheny County, Stokes County, if you live up, and especially into the higher elevations there, you may see a little bit of a wintry mix, maybe some snow, some sleet in there, depending on those exact atmospheric profiles. but better chances of seeing some wintry type of precipitation. Meanwhile, you head into the Triad and temperatures are in the upper 30s. It's going to be really hard to do anything wintry there. And so we will see cold rain as we go into the morning. By the afternoon, gone. And you can see that southwest wind flow starts to pick up. That's going to warm us up as well as we go through the afternoon on Saturday. So that's Saturday for us. Now let's look at Sunday. So here comes that system as we go into the morning. You can see Sunday morning, this really not painting anything for us because our local in-house model is picking up on very, very dry air. And so because of that, it limits us with almost no accumulation with snow. And so again, keep your expectations low. This is not a sledding event. This is not a go build a snowman. This is maybe see some flakes fly through the air, maybe get some of those flakes to stick, but not significant enough accumulation to really enjoy it. Might just be like, oh, it's January, it's cold, maybe a little bit of some snow in there. That's kind of what we're looking like from this event. So we'll have to watch the trends there. Does it trend further to the north and west? If it does so and gets closer to Raleigh, well, then maybe we'll start to see a little bit of the snow amounts go up. But I think anywhere from a trace to an inch would be on the very, very high side of things. As you saw, that probabilistic table, not in our favor, 1% chance of that. So I would keep things maybe quarter inch, half inch at most, and likely less than that as we go through the next couple of days. But that's kind of the update. Let's look at the 7-day real quick in summary of everything. It'll load. So there's our 7-day. Again, we've got the chance there for some of that snow as we go into our Sunday, and that's going to be kind of mainly to the east of us. We could see some impacts from that, and then Saturday morning, that's when we'll see that brief impacts there to our west for the foothills, and then maybe a little bit of some wintry precipitation snow for the Triad as we go into Sunday, minimal amounts. We do stay cold going into next week with maybe a little more cloud cover. Temperatures, though, in the lower 20s overnight and 40s and maybe some 50s by next Thursday. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Your team will continue to keep you updated as we approach the event.